Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Happy June 1st. Happy Pride, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable with me. I'm so happy and grateful to have you here. Thank you to everybody who popped in on Instagram Live beforehand, because that was kind of fun. We kind of had a good time. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. This is the 23rd week of, remember when I started the show and I said we did Quarantine Cabaret and Cocktails and we did the Broadway Cast Reunion Series, and that we were only going to do this every other week? And then 23 shows later. So the fact that it's all insane to me. Thank you for being here. Happy Pride to you all. Happy June 1st. We have 5 Pride shows for you this month. And I'm so excited to kick off this Pride show with Devin Velez, Jay Santino, Rufus Wainwright, and Anais Mitchell, all here only on the Roundtable. I'm so excited about it. Let's go really quickly through my nonsense, because as Abby Thompson in the UK, who's watching right now, said, is this show going to be long? Do I have to take extra caffeine and sugar? Probably. Let's take, you think I don't have a lot to say? Let's talk about the weekend review. So this week was a really fun week. You know, it was Memorial Day weekend. And if you're from Jersey like me, Memorial Day weekend is like the kickoff to the summer, right? So believe it or not, I used to be part of my own personal story, and my own Pride story is that I was married. I had my straight years, as I call them. And that's all. Everyone's journey through Pride and their spectrum of who they are is all different and various, and people come out at all different ages and different stages. So my ex-wife, who's now my super close friend, it was her birthday. We're that weird couple. Now you get the scandalous scoop. There you go. And we celebrated her birthday. We went to Candytopia. So that's Sam and that's little Sam. And we went to Candytopia and celebrated. Look at us. Just ex-husbands and kids, just living it up in the middle of New York City for birthdays. You make your own normal. That's what this world is all about. Whatever makes you happy, right? Well, they have a marshmallow pit at Candytopia. And I wasn't not going in it. And then I went and saw Harry Potter. Now, listen, Harry Potter is problematic. J.K. Rowling is a little problematic. But I did go see it. I was invited to go see it. And it's really brilliant. And the people in it and the work that's being done and that incredible cast and crew doesn't deserve my opinions about her opinion. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's a lot of fun. And make sure if you want and you're interested, you can check out Harry Potter and the Cursed Child playing on Broadway right now. It's a lot of lines. My God, who the hell can learn all of those lines? The last musical I was in, I didn't know the lines as I was in the show. Never mind, like, learning them all. Oh my goodness. Happy Pride. Yes, thank you. Happy Pride. Hi, Mike. Happy Pride. I see all the messages. Look at Abby has a strawberry mousse in preparation of the show. Thank you, Janelle, and that's lattes in case you don't know. Happy Pride, Marie, my friend. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you all. We are definitely have a great show and a great group of people here with us. Hello, Abby. That's Abby there. This is my mother. Hi, Mom. Good to thank you for being here. You know, my mother will say, if you would like to support the show, she says it every single time. You can always Venmo me. And if you Venmo at R. Bannon, the money automatically goes to promote the show. So it doesn't go to my pocket. It goes to just promoting it and getting guests and stuff like that. So thank you for your love and support, especially this month. Let's do a shameless plug, and then we're going to bring Devin out. So hang tight with me, because there's so much stuff as a part of this show. So here's the shameless plug.
Because I'm shameless.
Firstly, I have to give a giant shout out to, look at this. I'm a teacher in New Jersey in 5th grade. And the resource teacher in the room with me, Miss Margaret Roberts, brought me this today. She bought me this microphone that's used for podcasts and for things like this, and we're using it today. So I hope the sound is good, and I hope it's better. And thank you guys for the love and support, because you guys, here she is. That's her. Look at that. This is from Miss Roberts. So thank you so much, Miss Roberts, for making our sound better and for supporting it. And you're the best. I can't imagine getting through this year without you. We are doing the Constitution. Speaking of Pride, we're doing the Constitution in 5th grade. So you want to talk about some deep conversations about the amendments and the Bill of Rights, you want to hear opinions, talk to a bunch of 10-year-olds. That's the truth. Alrighty, let me tell you about next week. Next week is a special show that I'm excited about. Next week we have the G's, I'm calling it. That's what I called. I talked to Greg Queen's publicist today, and they were like, "What is the show that Greg is going to be on?" And I said, "The Greg and Greg." It's Greg and Greg, and I'm trying to get my face off of it, but Greg, it's a lot of. I have a lot of jobs today. I'm sorry. Next week, Olympic gold medalist Greg Louganis is here, and then Queen of the Universe winner Greg Queen will be here. And the following week, my dear friends Quay Tan, who is the star of Dear White People and Peacock's upcoming miniseries with Kevin Bacon called They Them, will be here, as well as the star of Medea Homecoming. He jumps off of the screen in the show. He's also from Dear White People. Brandon Black will be here. So the future is now. Don't miss that on June 15th. I'm really excited. And then the following week, Angelica Ross and Delon Burnside from Pose will be here as well. In terms of the shameless plug of it all, I hope you can join me as we travel around all over the place. This weekend is the first event is going to be in Delaware. So if you're in Delaware, make sure you come and see me. Pandora Box is a part of the show. And then we're going to be in Englewood with Margaret Josephs from The Real Housewives. Tomorrow, we're going to be with Olivia Lux, New Jersey Pride Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be in Montclair Pride and Leonia. We are going to pride this whole entire East Coast. We're going to pride this East Coast. Everywhere that will have me, I'm going to come and sell my message and tell people that love is love is love, and that we're all here to just love and support one another. That's all that we are, right? Because there's news stories like this one right here. The Supreme Court's going to decide whether businesses may refuse couples from same-sex wedding services, or the Don't Say Gay laws, or all the things that are going on out there for all different colors of the rainbow and different sexualities and trans people and people of color and artists of color and women. We have to stand together and really fight the fight. So I hope you're a part of my little platform. I hope you listen and you contribute. And I promise we're going to put on a good show for you. I tried to say it really quickly because and I'm from New Jersey, so we talk fast. So stay with us here. I'm so excited because as somebody who, of a certain age, I remember being in high school when a certain television show started. I was a senior year in high school when a certain show started on Fox, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. And then 12 years later, this next gentleman happened to be a part of it. And we put together a bunch of his work. And he's going to come on and talk about, you want to talk about someone who could sing. Devin, I'm just warning you, we're going to take you on a secret trip a couple of years ago. Take a peek at Devin Velez.
I'm 18 years old. I'm from Chicago. I'm a high school student and a barista at a coffee house.
So what was it like for you growing up?
It was a little rough. I grew up without a dad. It was just me and mom.
Things were rough, like money was really tight when I was little. I grew up with a lot of hurt, but a lot of that went into my music.
One of my favorite male voices so far.
My mother is my role model, my rock.
She's always got my back, and so having her here, it's like, I know no matter what happens, I think I'm gonna be all right.
You are born to sing.
Somos novios, mantenemos un cariño limpio y puro. Como todos, procuramos el momento más oscuro. It makes the leaves on the trees fall. Makes the hours in the day long. Makes me wanna clear my head, find a little cafe, write the words to a love song. In your presence is better than 1,000 years away. One day is all I need. One day. In your presence is better than 1,000 years away. I need you here so you can. I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream. I'm living
All right, Devin Velez is here. Hey!
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound great. You look great. Listen, everybody, between Jay Santino, Devin, Rufus, you all, I'm going to throw my shoe at the screen tonight because you all can sing your faces off. Thank you for being here.
Much. Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be kicking off Pride Month with you. This is awesome. I've never done something like this, especially at the top of the month. So this is super special for me as well.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful. Firstly, your voice is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Thank you so
Chicago's in the house. I know that's your hey Chicago.
That's it. This is it's giving Chicago.
You are giving Chicago. You are from Chicago and have been singing since 2.5?
Yeah, so 2.5 years old is when I started talking, and around the same time as when I started singing. So it's literally been my whole life. Like there was never a time where I wasn't singing.
And how did it start for you? Did you start are you like a school play chorus kid? Like what was it as a child? How did it start?
I mean, we were just, Mom and I were kind of just sticking it where it fit, like I started off in the church. We were super religious growing up. And so my first solo was at church. I think I sang Happy Birthday, Jesus for like Christmas or something. But moving on into elementary school, I did things like the Chicago Children's Choir here in the city. I did some school plays, some local talent shows, some church talent shows. And then when I got into high school, I was the lead singer of my jazz band. And then I did some musicals and plays as well. So it was literally just like anything that I could get my hands on, we were doing. And in high school is really when I started to audition for the shows. So I auditioned to 3 different shows. Sophomore year was X Factor, junior year was The Voice, and then senior year was Idol. So we were just we were pumping them out.
Okay, so I'm a little older than you, and I don't want to get stuck on the Idol thing, but we have to mention it for a moment.
Right.
I'm a little older than you. I auditioned in the 2nd season of the show.
Okay.
Before they knew it was going to be a big deal. Like they had it just in a hotel, but they never realized 20,000 people were going to show up, and we were sleeping on the street in New York City and a whole bunch of nonsense. You're one of those rare people who shows up, gets put on the show.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me talking about it for a minute, a very controversial season because you're the famous Nicki Mariah.
For sure. Yep. I'm in fact that controversial season.
You are. And you had some of the most beautiful performances. I mean, the performance we just saw is gorgeous. Overall, how do you look at the experience now that you're removed from it? Is it something that you're proud of? Is it something that you're grateful for? Is it something you wish never happened? What is the thought behind it?
I definitely don't wish that it never happened. I think that I got to meet some of the most amazing people, friends that are still like brothers and sisters to me today. While there was a lot of controversy my season amongst the judges, we, the contestants, specifically the top 11 who got to go on the tour, I mean, there was not an ounce of drama between us. We all loved each other, from the winner down to me being on 8th place. Like all of us just got along. We slept on the same bus. I mean, we were in each other's hotel rooms all the time. We were staying up watching movies. Like it was an amazing time, and I wouldn't give that up for the world. The competition itself, I think it showed me a lot. I had no prior experience or knowledge with show business and television work. So that was the first official, leap into television work that I did. And I didn't realize how much hurry up and waiting there was. I didn't realize how much your story matters. I thought it was all just about your voice and about your gift. And, there are other things that shows look for than just what you have to offer, and so it was a learning experience for sure, getting to read some of these contracts, getting to see what it was like to meet with labels and songwriters. I got to meet one of Beyonce's songwriters who wrote If I Were a Boy for her. So it was just like, we got to do so many crazy things. And I think it gave me a better idea. It allowed me to recalibrate my idea of success. I think that when you're on a show like that, we're getting the star treatment. We're getting first class flights. We're getting personal assistants and bodyguards, and we're getting villas on the Sunset Strip. And the moment you're off and done with tour, it's just like, okay, have a good life. And as I started to rebuild, I started to have to ask myself the question, is that the goal again? Is the goal to be a celebrity? Is the goal to be Devin wins best camera quality in Roundtable? Thank you, Abby. I try. I really am. I wanted to do the best for this. I had to really ask myself, is that the goal? Is the goal to do the red carpets, to do all of these things? And in some aspects, yes, I think I do want a certain amount of recognition, but recognition doesn't always mean in the spotlight. I think that the artists that have impacted me the most are not the ones that have tons of Grammys, are not the ones that are selling out stadiums. Some of the most impacting artists to me are artists that I've seen at just a local jazz club here in Chicago that I've been following for years. And so I think that for me, I want to be appreciated and respected when I walk into any room, whether that's me arranging vocals for someone, whether that's me songwriting for someone, whether it's me doing a performance of my own. And I want people to know that I'm a man of integrity and I'm someone who's going to just give his best because it's the only thing I care about. I just want to be my best in every single situation. And, a cute paycheck would be nice because, well, yeah,
Hey,
I'm used to the view.
you got to keep the view. That's all about Chicago. That's skyscraper life out there. I think that's so fascinating. You have such an interesting take on that wild roller coaster, on the hoopla of press tours in LA and New York and all of the 20 million people a week seeing your face, and then taking these kids. I mean, you guys are kids, and then just being like, we're done, and then good luck. That's a gigantic adjustment. So for you to come through that and have built your own artistry and your own career, and through teaching and through recording and through concerts and through everything and arranging, because God knows I can't. You want to sing harmony with me? You better give me the melody, because I ain't singing nothing. You come out and created your own lane and your own beautiful career with your beautiful talent.
Thank you. I mean, and it's been hard work. It's something that I did have an identity crisis at, a few years after the show. Being so young, I was 18 when I auditioned and 18 while on the show. And then in the middle of tour, I was 19, touring the country and Canada and going everywhere. And after just being kind of let go back into the real world, I had come out when I was on the show to my mom. So that's when I was like, I'm 18 now. I'm finally making some money. So God forbid this goes bad, I at least know that I can sustain myself. I'm kind of a planner in that sense. So I tried to play my cards right. But when I got home, there were some things that I struggled with. I was waiting for the phone to ring. I was waiting for a record label to just call me and say, hey, we're ready to make your dreams come true. You're going to be the next biggest thing. And for none of it to happen, and for no one to give me a map, it got dark. It got dark, in my thoughts, where it's just like, what was this for? Was it worth it? Like, should I have even done this? Would it have been better for me to go to college? Because that was the plan before I auditioned for Idol. Like, I had filled out my FAFSA, gone to the college to see where I wanted to go. And so it took some time to rebuild. But to your point, I don't think that I'm a cocky person, but I am very prideful in saying that I did rebuild. And it took so much heart and tears. But I'm here, and I finally, I wake up loving what I do. And I think that that's just something that I know not everyone can say. So I know that I'm blessed.
Well, amen to that. And you brought up, coming out. Was that a big, not to take your personal story, but was it everyone has their own journey. Some people's families, it's difficult and it's very hard for you personally. Some people are 6 months old and they're like, this is who I am. But was that a part of, do you use that part of your life artistically? Like, is it an inspiration to your music, to the way you write, to the way you speak about your life and career on stages? How does that tie into your art?
It's funny that you're asking, and I'm so, Robert, I got to tell you, this is so wonderful timing, because this is like, there's a lot of changes going on in my life right now. And for the first time in all of my singing and writing career, I just wrote a song about a relationship that I'm in. And it's the first time that I've talked about another guy in a song. And it's not that I was afraid of it being a part of my identity, because while, yes, I came out at 18, I mean, I'm not the kind of guy where when I walk into a room, people have to ask me if I'm gay. It's just, it's, I'm in a fedora on a Wednesday or a Thursday, like it's giving, we know. But I think that I didn't want to sing about something that I didn't experience enough, And so after I came out, I mean, yeah, I had a few relationships, but none of them were serious enough to where I was going through something where I felt like I had an emotional connection with someone. And just recently is when I was like, I've lived enough to be able to write about something that I'm passionate about. And I want to share this side of me because it is important and it's not something that I'm ashamed of. And I never want someone to think that is the case, you know? So how it's shaped is, I think I just had to live a little before I could put it on paper and sing it in song.
So you've been right. I know you're a writer.
Yes.
What's your writing process? And is there new music that well, obviously there is. Will you tell us a little bit about your process and what's coming up?
Yeah, I mean, the process, it's so weird, right? Because like the process has been different for different songs. The first song that I wrote was my Christmas single, I think 4 years ago. Jesus, how long has it been? It's been a little while. And that one just kind of came, I was in bed with my partner and we were just watching a movie and he got up to make something to eat. And I was just hearing this melody in my head over and over again. And I just sat at the piano and started, you know, doodling. And the chorus came to me immediately. And I was just like, oh, well, that's kind of cute. I've never just had something come to me like that. And it took me maybe about a month and a half where I just kind of added more and more and more. And I took it to my dear friend, Eddie Torres, who was my producer for a few of my records. And I was just like, can we bring this to life? And he's like, let's do it. And so that one was more lighthearted, you know, and while, yes, it was about love, it was kind of a cheesy Christmas song, you know, the way that Christmas music typically is. So it wasn't anything super serious. The first song that I'm writing now about my relationship this is the one where feelings had been brewing for some time. And I think that I'm normally a very confrontational person. I'm an open book. I have no problem answering hard questions, being corrected or apologizing or calling someone out. And I think that for me in this last season of my life, so much has changed in the last year that I realized I was holding on to things. And while I didn't like how it made me feel, once it came to sit down at the piano and start writing, it just all poured out almost instantaneously. So I worked with my dear friends who are now in Los Angeles. They're a duo by the name of Sterling. And we kind of met up and they gave me a melody and they said, do you hear anything with this? And I said, I do. And in 3 days, I came up with the whole song.
That is so amazing. We can't wait I know we're all watching, can't wait for you to debut it and for it to be out. Isn't that magic? That's the magic of music and songwriting, really. You hear something and it just speaks to you. I don't know, break your heart and make it art is really kind of what that's what it is. I would be remiss to not mention this next lady, you know, Marie, who is a friend of yours, who is a friend of mine, who connected us together. She just wrote and said that she's so grateful that she heard you. You pulled her out of the abyss and she's ever grateful for hearing you. She heard you on American Idol. She loves your voice, just moves her. And that's what it's all about. So I know there's a rumor that you're coming to New Jersey this winter. And I'm just gonna have to sneak in. I'm just gonna have to sneak in there and meet you in person, and maybe we'll have to follow La 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 something together. I
would love it. I would love it.
I'm coming. I'm stage crashing your show. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey for people who are watching right now? My students watch and people watch the show. It wasn't always easy. You weren't just always on TV. You weren't always, you know, arranging and recording. You've had to there have been jobs you've done to pay your bills. If it's wedding bands, if it's cover bands, what has that process been to keep the lights on and keep making art? What's your advice? What have you learned through this journey?
Wow. I mean, you know, thank God that we're in a day and age now where so many people are talking about mental health issues, right? And with how many more celebrities and just people in general from all different walks of life are talking about, like, yeah, I needed to get therapy or I needed to heal from this. I didn't realize how much trauma I had as a child. And I think growing up in a single parent home, and then after my mom remarried, it was a man that he and I did not get along very well. So it was not a good relationship and situation. I think that even after Idol, I just had this kind of poor man mentality, and I always needed to have multiple streams of income. I'm like, I can never be poor again. Like, I can't not have a safety net. I can't not have, you know, if someone has to ask me for help, I have to be able to help them. And so even after Idol, I went back to Starbucks the year after I was off Idol, and that played into the whole identity crisis, you know, when things got dark, because I went from being a barista at Starbucks and a senior in high school to then being whatever kind of celebrity on television the next season, to then going back to being a barista at the same Starbucks And it was weird to have people walk in and tell me that they voted for me, and also can they have whipped cream on their lattes. It was weird for people to want to take a picture with me because they voted for me while I'm in a green apron, you know. But I think while it was hard, I've never been bashful or intimidated about working. I was working since I was 16, probably going to be working until the day I die. I do enjoy work, but it did cause some issues, you know. After Starbucks, I went to I had to take a third shift job overnight working for Chase. JP Morgan Chase has a department called Citizenship Immigration Services. And so I was data entry for Chase. So a lot of the applications that were coming in through Chase for people who wanted to become citizens, I had to input those handwritten documents into our system. And I worked from 11 p.m. to 6 in the morning overnight. And I only lasted like 4 months doing that because I was like, I was coming home and going to bed at like 11 in the morning and then waking up at 7 in the afternoon to do it all over again. None of my friends were awake. It made my relationship very difficult. I felt like a zombie, but it was all to keep food on the table. All the while being in a cover band or a wedding band. I don't know what they call them. They call them different things in different parts of the world.
I would think of them as a cover band, but yeah. Absolutely.
So here in Chicago, we call them jobbing bands or corporate bands. So we do all of the luxury weddings and like corporate parties. And so it's cool. We're at like nice swanky places. And it's been a huge part of my income up until recently. And that in itself has helped shape me as a singer. My stamina has gotten way better. My stage presence has gotten way better. My ability to just kind of read audiences and also read musicians and understand each other that's helped greatly. But I've always had multiple streams of income just because I'm afraid God forbid something goes wrong. I can't not have something.
Listen, I totally understand. I mean, I have been very grateful that over the past few years I've gotten to sing and act or whatever, but I keep my day job because I'm so afraid of, you know, that especially the past few years with the pandemic. It's like, I'm grateful for my job. I know people are writing right now, like Margaret here is saying, thank you for your honesty and experience, for being truthful, because it helps your truth helps a lot of people that think it's easy. It's a lot of hard work. Well, what are your inspirations? What are the music? What do you listen to? What are you?
I feel like this is such a hard question.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's your job. It's your job. So I grew up listening to a lot of gospel, a lot of R&B, a lot of soul music. So to name a few, most recently, people like Lucky Day, Jasmine Sullivan, Brandy, Alex Isley, Moonchild, Layla Hathaway, Kim Burrell, Yolanda Adams, The Winans, Kilante Gavin. I mean, there are so many people, but it's not always about the riffs and the runs. I think for me, just I'm mostly impacted by just people who are connecting to their piece of music.
Well, and all of that crunchy harmony that you just mentioned in all the churches, that gives me anxiety.
I live for a crunchy harmony. You give me a diminished harmony. Oh, it's
sweating. Oh no, I'm too white and I'm sweating a lot. No, I can't do it. I can't. But what I want to say is that you had a single that came out, and I know we talked about it. I just wanted to show the cover picture of it. You can listen to this single, this Breathe for Me, which is you could listen to Spotify right now. You can follow you. You can follow you at the Devin Velez, and then if you want more information, if you want him to help you get your life together, if you want to see his music, if you want to see, you could go to www.devinvelez.com. While I have you here, I just wanted to make sure people knew where to find you before all of that ends. All right, I'm going to ask you a big favor.
Okay.
Do you care? She's going to be mad if I don't ask you. You don't have to say yes. Okay. Would you do something? Can you just can you give her a little 10 seconds, please? You'll just make
Oh my God, of course.
So excited if you will just sing a little. She said, please, can you ask? And I said, I am going to ask.
I would love to. And anything for Marie and anything for the Roundtable Talk. I think on the topic of pride, one of the songs that I think touched me differently, just thinking about all the things that pride means to people and just love for our community in general. The song Through the Fire by Shaka Khan came to mind. So I think I'll just do the first verse and the chorus to that. Is that okay?
It's all
cool. I look in your eyes and I can see you've loved so dangerously, but you're not trusting your heart to anyone. You say you're gonna play it smart. We're through before we start. Well, I believe that we've only just begun. When it's this good, there's no saying no. I want you so I'm ready to go. Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall. For a chance of loving you, I'd gladly risk it all. Through the fire, through whatever, come what may. For a chance to be with you, I'd give it all away. Right down to the wire, even through the fire.
My goodness. Well, that's as gorgeous as it can possibly be.
Oh, thank you.
I'm obsessed with Chaka Khan, and that song, David Foster, is a brilliant piece of work. And
hello, anything David Foster.
you just did it. Devin, I want to be your friend now. You're stuck with me. I'm going to be your friend.
I thought we were friends.
Well, that's it. Your energy.
I thought that's why I'm here. I thought this
of
established
course,
friendship.
but I'm not trying to assume anything. Look, everyone's saying that they want you to sing them to sleep and that you're the role. So thank you all for being here. Everyone, go to devinvelez.com. He's got new music coming out. Make sure you follow him so that he can keep you up to date, so you can stream and share and stream. And you're in Chicago. Jay Santino is in Detroit, which is not super close, but for everyone on the coast, we think everything in the middle of the country is 10 minutes away.
Nope.
Talk about overcoming adversity and crunchy harmonies. He's going to tell us about his journey homeless to headlining Pride in Detroit to releasing his own music. He also can sing his face off. So everyone stay tuned for that. Devin, I can't wait to meet you in person. My show is your show. When you have new music out, you have to come back and we'll debut it.
You'll be the first person I call, and I cannot wait to hug and squeeze you in the winter time.
Done. I can't wait. I'm so excited to meet you in person. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for singing for us, and continued success on all of the beautiful, amazing things you're doing. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate this.
Thank you. Enjoy. Happy Pride and have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. All
right, that's Devin Velez, everyone. You've seen him and listened to him. And now last year, around this time, I was flying. My cousin got married on a Saturday, and I flew to Detroit on a Sunday morning. And I had never been to Detroit, and I was in Detroit all by myself. And I had looked at the lineup of people that were going to be performing at Motor City Pride. And I was like singing for 6 people, like in the corner by like the river. And I walk over to the other side of the Pride Festival. And there's a show going on with like a freaking marching band, a stripper pole, twerking, I don't say background singers. And this performer shows up with vocals for days and showmanship for days. And this is my friend. And I'm excited to have him here. And he is a spitfire, so prepare yourself, everybody. Take a peek, a little bit of put together of Jay Santino.
I like this. My name is Jay Santino, and I have an honor with you guys today.
Hey yo, I'm feeling you, baby. Come take a ride with me. I'll show you things you never seen. A carpet we don't need. I will tell what we are going through. So just hold me tight till the end of time.
Hi guys, Jay Santino here.
Do you wanna be famous? Do you wanna be successful? Do you wanna be forever?
Do you wanna be famous? Do you wanna be successful? Do you wanna be now? Do you wanna be now? Grind on the girl, spin a twirl on the big sit down. 2 and 3 and 4. Grind on the girl, spin a twirl on the girl, sit down. Vogue now.
Do you wanna be forever? Do you wanna be forever? Do you wanna be
famous or not? But do you wanna be successful? Not but do you wanna be now? Do you wanna be now? Right on the horse in a 12 on the horse now.
Well, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. My buddy, here's Detroit's own Jay Santino is here. Hello, friend.
Hey, friend. What's up? What's poppin'? What's tea? What's poppin'?
Listen, I'm hanging up this call right now. No, I'm kidding. It's my favorite. That was my favorite phone call of all time. Hi. Hello,
How are you? How have you been?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I'm out at the farm, at my friend's farm, you know, with the goats and the chickens and stuff.
Better than that. You got out. Firstly, I know you rep for Detroit. You're from Detroit. I mean, the best music in the world is historically is from Detroit. If you're Aretha and the Clark sisters and Motown and Jay Santino, it's where all of the good music is from. And you have one of the most. I did not know you. We did not know each other. I was singing my little jazzy, cheesy music over in the corner, and you were across the way with production.
Listen. I was giving a show, but you was giving a show too, though. You was giving a show too. You stopped me in my tracks, okay? As I was setting up for the show.
No, well,
You stopped me all in my tracks.
Well, I appreciate you, but you stopped me in my tracks because I was like, "What? Who's got this?" Marching bands, performers, singers, but Jay, but what is amazing is you sing your face off. Like you're not just all show. You sing.
I be trying, you know. I do a little something.
And you put on a beautiful production. And then I saw you in like the office, and we walked past, and you were so kind, and I was so sweet. Well, I wasn't sweet. You were so sweet to me. And then I'm so happy to be your friend and see your journey and your wild, your ride and your success. Back at you. You have one of the most amazing stories, and you're very honest about it. You've talked about it in everywhere that asks, and so I don't feel like I'm intruding if you don't feel like answering. But you're growing up. I just read something about you. I said before, you and your mom were homeless, living in shelters.
Yeah.
And you say that you didn't even realize it was so terrible as a kid. Like you were just living your life. What helped you and keeps you? Tell us about it. It's better from your words than mine.
Okay. So yes, we were homeless. Flashback, right? 2004, 2000 to 2008-ish, we were homeless, doorstep shelter, cots, family house shelter in Ohio. Doorstep was in Highland Park. I think with me being so young at that time, it was an experience because I didn't realize when I was going to school, mind you, right? The school that I was going to, the elementary school, was literally right next to the homeless shelter. It was called Best Academy, but nothing was best about it. And it was one girl used to come up to me every day. She used to come up to me every day and was like, "You're at the nursery home and this, that, and the third." And I'm like, this is a school, not a nursery home. But I'm in third grade, so I don't really know what she's talking about. And every day, it just felt like it was, everything felt normal. I got to see people who were, down and out, and but nobody in the shelter really made it seem as if, it was bad in a sense. It was just yeah, you had certain people who were, didn't really, have any in quite layman's terms hope for themselves. But I will say, going through it was a sense of camaraderie. If you ever want to see people stick together, a real community, homeless people really stick together. And my mom, kudos to her. When we were there, she never really, she kept us guarded from a lot of stuff back then. But I will say that she always taught me you never have to be you can be somewhere but you don't have to be a product of that environment per se. Like you can like how you dress yourself, how you present yourself is really the best way to really elevate yourself. And that has always stuck with me. Even when I became homeless again in 2019, like 2017 to 2019, right when I got out of college. Um, it was that type of knowledge that I had back then really kept me going forward to now, which allowed me to stay upbeat and always gave me the motivation to know that I can get through anything. So yeah, it was tough, but it was I would say it was one of the best experiences ever in a dark humor type of way.
I think there's such a stigma around it, and that people are so judgmental about it. And you don't. I mean, I've had students. I teach fifth grade in New Jersey. We have students that are in shelters, and you don't understand like that. Their life is there's nothing to judge and be rude. I mean, there's like a stigma. So do you hear me? No.
I can hear you.
Oh. Okay.
There you go. Now you're back. You're back.
No worries. I think that it's so brave of you and honest of you to tell your story. You're going to help so many people.
Listen, when I got booked for Pride, let me tell you, when I got booked for Pride 2019, I was like homeless. In our personal conversations, I swear a lot. But for this, we'll keep it PG-13. But no, when I got booked for Pride, like it was like I literally like I spent everything trying to get my first set for Pride together in 2019. When I got booked for that gig, they told me they only paid me $200 to put together that show. Cost way more than $200 to put together the show. And I didn't know where the money was coming from because I spent the last money creating the website trying to make the show. And mind you, at the time I was sleeping like on a cot. So for most people who don't know the reference that I'm about to reference, you have a guest coming up, Angelica Ross, and she's on the show called Pose. And on that show, they have this, community and ballroom called the Ballroom Community. And so you have house fathers and stuff. So at the time I had a house father, which I still do. He did my hair. And at his house, like I was sleeping on this cot, catching the bus to work, and I was working at this dishwasher place, like this 5-star restaurant. I was working as a dishwasher, and mind you, he told me like Jason Ricketts got on the phone, was like, "Hey, you're doing this gig." Mind you, no money, like no music was out for real. I was sending unfinished tracks because but they were quality, of course. They were really good. And next thing you know, he was like, "You're doing this gig," and I would tell you that was probably the most happiest I've probably been, like in that moment. Going back, I'm like, I laid on that damn cot and I was like, "Oh my God, like this is like crazy!" And I ran around the living room. And mind you, that was the gig that got me to quit my job as a dishwasher. And I was like, I don't know how we're gonna make this happen, but we're gonna do this gig, whether I had to quit this job or not. And everything just went up from there for me.
You performed that show to a gigantic audience, brought all of your Jay Santino-ness there. The following year, you headline Pride, you headline the after party. And then you have music out that people can stream and watch, and videos and music, all of that. He got everyone. He believed in himself enough to take the last money he had to build a website so that he can have something to show to get the gig. And taking that step, the path really opened for you to continue your artistry.
Yeah, and I didn't even know how to make a website. Like my friend, shout out to Kailani. I actually spoke to her recently about it. And she made the website, and she didn't even know how to make the website. She just had made something that she did in high school, and she was like, "I have some experience." I was like, "Girl, here's $10, make it." And we just stayed up all night editing it. Mind you, we were past the deadline to submit to Pride. I think we were 3 days late, and from there, that's why I was so shocked. The next day, I got an email saying that I got the gig, and that was my first major gig. Like I've been performing before and stuff. Even like I was walking to gigs at some point, and that gig really changed my life. From working as a dishwasher, meeting Assemble Sound, and then ended up, getting a sync deal with them, and then, doing Pride, and it just everything felt like it came full circle.
It's an amazing story, Jay. It's really an amazing story, and your perseverance. I know that growing up, you had a lot of inspirations and role models. He's a lamb, everybody. He is a fan of the Mimi. He's a stan for Mariah. Who, I mean, is there a better voice in the world? I mean, Mariah is the queen for sure. What is and you're very open, and you perform in prides all around, anywhere and everywhere. How has your journey into being a part of the LGBT plus community affect your artistry, and what is the message that when you go to Pride you try to share to all of the? How was your coming out story, and how does that play into your art?
So my coming out story was kind of violent. It was actually it wasn't the greatest, but it shows in my music because like when I came out, I remember being in high school and I came out, told my mom, I was like, hey, this is what I got going on. And when I tell you, she took that Bible and said, whoop. And it was like, next thing you know, she tried to, do some stuff, like fight me over it. And he ended up jumping off the balcony, and I haven't been home since from that. And we're cool now. We're in a better space now. But it took years to get to that point. But when I came out, that was the catalyst of like. So you got to think, I was homeless from 2004 to 2008. Then when I got to my second year of high school at 16, then I ended up jumping off the second story balcony of a house and never came back home. So I was homeless at 16. Going about. Then went to school, then ended up coming back and, just really finding myself from there. So from 16 to like 2017, 2017, then back again, then got to 2019. That's really when everything started picking up for me again.
Your story is a common story to many people who have had stories that and they face adversity from their family and they aren't accepted. And I know you were talking about house culture and finding a house and your own community and your own family. What advice? I have students who come out to me or feel comfortable to come out to me, and their parents don't agree with their lifestyle, and what would you say? What do you say to that 14-year-old boy or that 14-year-old girl that has a family that doesn't accept them? Does life go on? Does it get better? Did you find your own community?
Yes. So like I learned a lot of things about, being in the community. Like when I came out, I really didn't feel, I had a community in a sense, like, believe it or not. Because I learned that every community has its own sub communities. But when I was younger, the thing that kept me going was, knowing that I could still I could push through anything. Like it was like, okay, like I already I'm going through this. What's worse? Like if you're already going at the bottom, then there's no other place but up. And so that's why I wrote that one song Forever, because when I was like, what I wrote, like what I would tell to myself when I was younger. So if I was to tell a kid that came out to me, and I've dealt with that before, I just tell them like, you may not like today, and yesterday may have been bad, but yesterday is not today, and today is not tomorrow. You may like tomorrow better than you like today. And knowing that there is always a tomorrow will keep you going. You just have to continue to push through because there will always be breakthroughs in your life. As long as you keep searching for them, and you are only you. Like you can't be scared. Like you can't be scared of life. Life is always going to be life. But as long as you are able to tackle life, life won't affect you as much.
Well, amen.
No matter how bad it is.
I hear that, and people are thanking you for sharing your story, and yeah, chosen family sometimes saves. We all can just be a little kinder and more accepting of one another. So you're a songwriter. Besides singing, you write. So tell me about your process. How do you write a song? What inspires you? Do you write the lyrics? Do you write melodies? What's your process?
Well, my process really depends. Sometimes it's chaotic. Sometimes it's really straightforward. I honestly, like sometimes I get so frustrated. Like I need a hit. I need a song. And then next thing you know, it just comes out. Or sometimes I could just be taking a shower, then I hear a melody, and it just does what it does. But like, for example, like when I wrote Forever, like Forever was that song, I wrote that in like 5 minutes because I was just like, I want a house record. I want to write about, personal experiences. And next thing you know, I sat at a piano. Mind you, when I moved into my first apartment only had a cot and a piano. I took the cot from when I was homeless, put it in the house, and I had a piano that I had from when I was in college. And that piano was in the basement of said house. I moved that up, set it up. And when I wrote it, it was like, it just came up like, working hard, taking night. And then after that, it just kept flowing. Um, and so, but then you have other songs like, Gemini, which is more of you have to go through stuff in order to write, to write that song. So, like I said, it can be chaotic or it can be really straightforward. You never know what you're going to get some days.
But yeah, but you also, well, he just brought it up, so we might as well talk about it. He has a brand new single. It just came out. It was just played in Detroit on the radio. It is streaming everywhere now. It's called Gemini. There's the album cover. You can get it. It's streaming on all platforms right now. Can you tell us a little bit about the song?
Okay, so the song to me is a labor of love. I wrote that song at like 2:30 in the morning, and this is gonna sound crazy. So when I wrote the song, I wrote it from like a previous experience, from being in a relationship with somebody who was really toxic. And we typically have like in our community. Remember, I said there's like a lot of suspects in our community, like subgroups. So I was dating this person. He was like, he would be considered the trade, and he was in the closet at the time. And when I was going through that, it was just like always this push and pull of, like maybe this person, likes me this day, and then they're telling me all of these things, and then the next moment, I just don't exist. And ironically, they were a Gemini. but no, I wanted to write a song about that because there wasn't a lot of songs that actually talked about that, that type of experience. It's like, and it's like how you give so much of yourself and not really receive much in return, but you're willing to give everything of yourself. But I wanted to really phrase it in a certain way because I didn't want to, like, I wanted you to think about the record, not necessarily, be so like prominent and like, like focused in the song because, even though we're still in it's 2022, I wanted to make it, accessible to everybody as well. And take my pain and however you want to interpret it, which is why I use Gemini type of a thing. But yeah, the song is really about a toxic love story from a person in the closet who ran me through the dirt.
I mean, does it get better than that? Is that better? Scandalous?
Right. Like, does it get better than that?
If I'm watching that's a Gemini, I'm sure you're lovely, but Geminis are crazy. And I talked about my own coming out story. My ex-wife is a Gemini. So I have
you relate.
It put me right out of the closet. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, Sam, I'm kidding. It's just so it's out. What was it like to hear it on the radio this week?
Oh my God. So when I heard it on the radio, this wasn't the first time I've been played on the radio. But it's a difference when you really like when you get played on the radio the first time. Okay, people don't understand, like when you hear a song on the radio, you really hear every imperfection with the song. So from a singer and artist point of view, like it was like, yes, I did a damn good job on that mix. And that's what came out. But it was just really interesting because it was like I really had the support from so many people. Like when you're an artist, it's like, yeah, people like, we like your music, we support you, people come to your shows and stuff like that. But it's one thing to hear yourself on the radio and it's like, I did that. And that is a goal. And now it's like, okay, now that we heard ourselves on the radio, it's like, how can we continue to keep hearing ourselves on the radio? How can we keep, elevating? How do we keep, going from there? So there's a little bit of pressure with that, but you really realize how many people really support you when you are really doing what you're supposed to do. And it was a very humbling feeling for real.
Well, I know that this song, Gemini, I'm sure you have other songs you're working on because you are a writer and an artist at heart. And you did your show in California, and I'm sure you're working and cooking up all sorts of who knows what's next.
Listen, we got new management. We're working on, doing some more shows. I have actually a gig this Saturday in Ferndale. And it's gonna be sickening. Like it's gonna be.
Last year too. I remember you doing Ferndale Pride last year. I had to be honest with you, I came to Detroit and I was like, I've never been to Detroit. The country hears horrible things about Detroit gets such a bad rep from places.
It does, but Detroit is such a gem. Like the art community and music community, like really does so much. Like it's really like it's already a thing in the city, but it's really growing so much more because before, like when I was coming up in the city, like I started really doing music seriously around 2017 and then, carrying it forward. When I started doing music here, there was no pop scene. It was literally like the rap and hip hop scene, hip hop R&B. And when I tell you like watching music in the city grow and like what they've done for it is such a big hub for it. And just even watching the infrastructure in the city just grow and like, now downtown Detroit is such a beautiful place. Even the surrounding areas of Detroit are becoming so much better. And now like people are, coming here as far as like, tourism and like, Detroit has so much to offer and a lot of people don't really see that. It's like, think of it like Chicago. Like Chicago has so much, it has so much to offer. Like it's a beautiful place. Like even Belle Isle and like, our city parks and like, Sherwood Forest. It's so pretty.
I had such a great time. I had so much. I think it was a beautiful city. Downtown Detroit is such an artsy.
It's beautiful.
It's so artsy. So go there. Go to the see Comerica Park and go to the Motown Museum and stuff like. There's more to. There's so much culture and history that's a part of Detroit. And you rep for Detroit and you rep Detroit proudly, Jay. Everyone, Gemini is streaming now. You can follow Jay Santino at official Jay Santino on Instagram, or you can go to officialjsantino.com. So when he releases more singles, you can listen to them. Make sure that you follow them. And if you're in this and wherever he's performing, make sure you stop by and make sure everybody's homework assignment, stream Gemini. It's brand new, it's out. So be on top of the cusp of new music and support your artists that are out there. He's literally sharing his story that is so inspiring. People need to hear it. So spread. And Jay, we are going to get together. We are going to make this happen.
Listen, I know I'll fly anytime. Okay?
I want you to come to New York. I want the New York experience. We are going to work. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Thank you you send so much love and support. You're so sweet to me all since this year that I've known you. And I want to send that back to you. I appreciate you. I thank you. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. You've done so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
You've done so much. Like you're killing it. Like you really are killing it out here.
I thank you. Well, I'm inspired by artists like you, truly. So it means a lot. That's Jay Santino, everybody. Make sure you stream everything now. And thank you. Anytime my show's your show, come back.
I will. We're going to talk.
Done. Thank you. That's Jay Santino, everybody. What a fascinating, amazing story, amazing artist. And I'm so proud to be here. And now to speak of artists who have writers and create amazing art, let's go. You're absolutely right, Abby. Detroit has so much culture and beauty. It's really developed. It's absolutely beautiful. Up next, they need no introduction. Take a peek at this.
There was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. I got a soul. From the start, something inside of me started a symphony, sing with the strings of my heart. Really,
us no let up the livelong night and day. Ever since this world began, there is nothing sadder than.
And our work is never done. My children, and the war is never won. The enemy is poverty, and the wall keeps out the enemy. And we build the wall to keep us free. That's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. Lover, tell me if you're able. Who's gonna lay the wedding table? Times being what they are, dark and getting darker all the time.
Lover, when I sing my song, all the trees gonna sing along and bend their branches down to me.
I come out like a cannonball, come of age of alcohol, raving in a field of rye, with a black and roving eye, ravenous, what you got, it's not enough, young man in America, riding high at the end of the night. Everything I want, everything I want, everything I want, everything I want, everything. I want everything I want, everything I want. I remember when you were a seeker, staring into a stereo speaker, kick drum and someone singing, made you one with everything. I remember when your tape was rolling, you were going where the tape was going. No regrets and no mistake, get one take, you're on your way. When I first laid eyes upon you, I was filled with such a longing to be with you in the dark, bright star. If I could have flown beside you, I would not have had the sight of you to guide me through the world so wide and bright.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen them and listened to them for years. Their music is iconic and has been a part of the Great American Songbook. They have written operas, they have written Broadway shows, they have toured the world, and we're so lucky to have them both here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rufus Wainwright and Anais Mitchell. Hello, so nice to see you both.
Oh, hi.
Thanks for having us.
It is such an honor. I am such huge fans of both of you. Your musicality, the catalog of music, but also like the social stand that you both take through these years has been so inspiring to so many artists. So thank you for all of the hard work you both have done, truly.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's get started. You both have new music out. You have new music coming out. You're both on the road. Rufus, how's it been to put out music and be on the road during these past crazy 2 years?
Yeah, well, it's been a challenge, but also kind of a gift at the same time. You know, for one thing, I needed the rest. I needed to stop touring for a little while because I've been doing it pretty incessantly for many years. But then once I did that, I had a lot more time just to write more songs. And speaking of Broadway, I actually wrote a whole Broadway show that I can't tell you anything about, of course, but it will be announced fairly soon. So I worked a lot, and then I did shows from my living room, and I also did this Judy album at Capitol Records. So I think it was good to shift gears. I mean. Not great to lose all the touring income, but that's okay. We're artists, we're not here to live in whatever Newport, Rhode Island.
I hear you. How about you, Anais?
Yeah. So I had a pretty dramatic pandemic exodus. I was living in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I was 9 months pregnant, like literally when the pandemic reached the city, and made this like really last minute decision to leave and go to Vermont, which is where I am now. It's where I was like born and raised, and got to Vermont, like had the baby a week later, and then just kind of decided to stay up here. And I started to write songs again, which was really huge for me because I've been working on my show, Hadestown, for like, I just got so obsessed with it. It took like years of my life, like creatively, off the map. And I almost didn't know what to do with a guitar and just me writing my own song. And it was really nice to have that time in that space and the reconnection with just like what it is to just kind of follow the muse wherever she wants to go. So that was huge for me. And then I did make a record out of those songs that I wrote.
Wonderful.
Well, you're both parents. You're both living in these crazy times with us and being artists and on the road. But I'm sure you're inspired by literally everything. Rufus, I have to say that your original Judy album, the Live at Carnegie Hall album, I've played since the day it came out. I mean, I don't know how you have the stamina to have done that show vocally. It's insane. It's gorgeous. We're all very excited for the new album that's coming out. Rufus does Judy at Capitol Studios. I heard that Renee Zellweger was there. I heard that you have some special guests on the album. Tell us a little bit about how this came to be.
Yeah, well, I was, because of COVID, once again, I was landed here in LA, and I ended up doing a show a week from my living room. And I ended up doing all of my studio records. And then at a certain point we got to the Judy album, and we decided, and then that was sort of later in the pandemic, and we decided to have just to mix it up a little bit and get out of the house somewhat. And so we went to Capitol Studios and we recorded the live show there, streamed it, and it was in a studio that Judy worked in. It was actually with her actual microphone that she recorded on. And as I said, I'd had a celebrity guest, because you can do that, and you can't do that in Vermont. But you can do it in LA, a weekly celebrity guest. So for that week, for that show, we asked Renee Zellweger to join us, and she kindly agreed. And it was just a big success. And frankly, it was also, I have to say, an eye opener for me to do those amazing songs in a kind of studio atmosphere, with the combo, and it just being very kind of, it was akin to like surgery or something, like getting into the music with that kind of high quality kind of environment. And I just ended up really loving these recordings because they are more interior. They're less about like showbiz, and they're dare I say more of like a jazz record, which is fun, which is not something I've often done. So it was great to do that.
Well, you have to check out the single is available to stream now. It's the iconic Man That Got Away. Your arrangement of it is really gorgeous. So it was a joy to listen to, truly.
Thank you.
You'll be here. He'll be in New York if you want to hear again.
Yes, I'm doing them around Judy's 100th birthday, which is June 10th. But I'm doing a show on the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 10th at the City Winery in Manhattan, and also then I'm doing it in Chicago right after. So yeah, and it's I will be if you can hear me.
Yeah. Tickets are on sale, and you're doing. There's two different versions of the show, right? There's one set that's focused on earlier.
Yeah, I'm doing two shows a night, and the first set is the first album, the first half of the show, and the second set is focused on the second album, because it's 30 songs. So we have to kind of break it up. I'm trying to get people to buy two sets of tickets, basically.
Yes,
it's worth it. It's worth it.
That's good.
It's worth it.
Well, you could go to rufuswainwright.com, and you're still on tour. He's on touring. You're touring your last album, Trouble in Paradise, which is beautiful. All the Rules, featuring Trouble in Paradise. It's a beautiful album. So it's exciting. And then Anais, your self-titled album. I think you spent 16 years on Hadestown. I mean, it's the winner of the Grammys and Tonys, and it's literally brilliant. And I know dedicated such a part of your life to this project. But now you're back, and your self-titled album, Anais Mitchell, is out, and it's stunning. Tell us, what was it like to finally put Hadestown to sleep and then come back with this?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Rufus, that is so ambitious. I'm like really impressed. I hope I can get down there.
Yeah, come on down. Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
It'll be great to meet you finally. I mean, I've heard so much about you. We're very close to Don Franzen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're very close. So we've been following we've been enjoying your meteoric rise.
Cool. Yeah, Dale Franzen is one of the lead.
Yeah, Dale and Don. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, what happened with my stories? I wrote all these songs. I got to Vermont. I wrote all these songs. I wanted to record them right away, and I went to the Hudson Valley. My bandmate, I had this folk band called Bonnie Light Horseman, and my bandmate Josh Kaufman had also fled from New York and was living in Kingston. And we recorded this record in this weird little church called Dreamland, like in Hurley near Woodstock. And we had a couple like really dear friends came actually they drove because it was the pandemic. No one wanted to get on a plane, and they drove from Twin Cities. JT Bates and Mike Lewis, and that's the sort of the rhythm section. And then Thomas Bartlett plays also. He came up from the city, and there's some arrangements by Nico Muley, and Aaron Dessner played on it. And it was made live. Like, it did feel like a real privilege to be able to be in the room together. I know a lot of people were doing remote stuff at that time. And I kind of identify, Rufus, with this, like, maybe this is what you were saying, like a feeling like no one was watching, or there was a bit of a invisibility somehow. I felt that about writing the songs too. It was like,
everybody had to go inside more. Everything became more interior.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Which is kind of what you have to do anyway. It's like such a head trip as a writer and a performer to do that, both of those things, because they're completely opposite things. But yeah, now we're touring with that record. I did a tour in February and then do another one starting in a couple weeks, and it feels so amazing to be playing for people.
Oh my gosh, yes. It was like it was never going to happen ever again at one point. Well, the album is beautiful. I know that Brooklyn Bridge or Bright Star or these songs, the music, like I said, you both know how to write a lyric. What is so interesting, and a lot of people compare, when I was reading bios on both of you about the influences you guys have, because you have such various genres of music that you all, if it's the musical theater or the opera or the folk, indie, pop kind of, you're both compared to Leonard Cohen. I know Rufus will be immortalized in Shrek forever. I'm a 5th grade teacher. My students will be singing frogs. Hallelujah.
Oh God.
The versatility of you guys as performers is unmatched. It's truly unparalleled by both of you. So
thank you.
Thank you so much.
What in this crazy world, a lot of the times people come on this little show that I do here in my home in New Jersey, that I'm so lucky to be able to talk to people like you. The artistry that you guys have versus just the world as a whole, what do you think your job, Rufus, is as an artist to, how do you reflect the crazy world we live in? You're such an outspoken advocate for so many rights. What is the job of an artist?
Well, I think it's mainly to take risks, in the sense that both me and members of my family, have always put everything into their songs, and on one hand have had a lot of success, but have also had to pay a certain price. And that's, I don't know. And it's so it's sort of, I was just reading Tennessee Williams recently, and like one of my favorite quotes is, all good art is an indiscretion. And there's something about that I find, it's like exploring. It's like going out there and pushing the boundaries. And if it's not slightly dangerous, or if you're not putting yourself, in an uncomfortable place, it's not really that interesting for the audience. So I think a good artist, a good songwriter, a good musician will always be, just not settling for the status quo and trying to, branch out into other areas, just to feel life.
Yes. Anais, thoughts on your role as an artist?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I totally had one of those moments this morning. I was like jogging, and I don't know, I was thinking about the news, like in Ukraine, and there's like civilian casualties. And then I was thinking about my music, and I was like, what am I even doing? Like, what is this writing of these heart poems, and who cares? And what does it even mean? And this climate change and all, it's hard to hold all these things together. But I know it's like my dharma, like it's what I'm supposed to do. It's always been like that. And I feel so lucky that I get to do it. There was a time when I felt like my role was to, I used to be more into sort of political songwriting and kind of protest music, inspired by like early Bob Dylan stuff and that kind of era of protest music. And then at a certain point, I decided or felt that wasn't really what I wanted the songs to be, and that like to let a sort of an essay or a letter to the editor be an essay or a letter to the editor, and to let a song be something that hopefully make people feel something and identify with other people, feel their human connection, feel their heart. So yeah.
I mean, I have to say that today, just because I just came in, I was driving in today we went to the beach overnight, and as I said, I'm a big opera fan, and we were listening to this Strauss opera that was Capriccio. Anyways, but the last act of it is very beautiful, the music, and I just started weeping during the music because it was so beautiful, and it was like all like Ukraine and climate and my life and my kids and my dad, like it does when it really accesses that pent up place and there's a release. I mean, music can do that, and that should be the goal.
Well, and that's what the music that you guys create makes us as fans all feel. And that's why it's something on every treadmill and in every car ride and every airplane headphones, people that are listening to your music, we see our lives through moments in time. You both have quite the extensive catalog. When you guys put together shows, aside from a special show like Rufus is doing at City Winery, and if you do a show, a Hadestown themed show, how do you go through all of the songs you wrote to build a live event? Rufus, what is your process? How do you get a set list together?
Yeah, no, it's what's interesting is that I'm doing Glastonbury this summer in England, and I'm very excited about that. We were supposed to do it, for the last 2 years, because they kept postponing it, and thankfully we made it on the bill again. And I've had to take my set and really condense it to the allotted time, and yeah, it wasn't so easy, but it did give me I think the best thing is to really give the audience kind of a journey, and to really for instance, like there's in that Glastonbury set, there's stuff with the band, and then it's very important for me to have solo stuff too, because people like that, and then I'm gonna sing a Bob Dylan song as well, because I'm really into him these days, especially with what's going on in the world, and so I like to give them this real kind of interesting journey. And I thankfully, because I've been around now for a while and I keep doing it, I have colors to choose from. So make it interesting for the audience.
Yes. Anais, how about you? How do you merge the musical theater fans everywhere and that music with your solo music? How do you build a live show?
Mm-hmm. Wow, I don't even know the answer to that. It's been so long since I've been touring. But I will say this, which is that one kind of special thing about like making this record is that all the songs were brand new. Like I hadn't been trotting them out on tour, which in the past maybe I would have. They were all brand new, and so it felt like they're just like wet clay, like this could be anything. And I felt excited to tour them for the same reason, because I hadn't been playing them for years. And there is something about me really wanting to stay current with what I'm writing now, what I'm really feeling now, because it's tough to go out there, and play the thing that maybe someone wants to hear that's like, you wrote it 10 years ago, and it's hard to access it. There's a little bit of that one has to do, and you're like, I'm grateful for those songs that have moved people like that. But it also, for me, what I would love is just to play what feels really alive right now.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes total sense. Well, I will say that as a ginormous fan of both of you, I've been loving this album. I'm waiting anxiously for this album. They're constantly in rotation in my home. So I want to thank you for sharing a little piece of your heart with us today and in the music, because it really means a lot. It gives a lot of inspiration to aspiring artists and people out here that are doing things. And both of you are people who really fight and advocate for others, and that means the world. And it was such an honor and a joy. If you go to anaismitchell.com, you can see her. She's touring. She'll be in Europe this summer. She'll be all over. She's going to be everywhere. And Rufus is going to be everywhere as well. He's in the West Coast, and then he's coming to New York. Make sure you go support live music and come see artists do what they do best and do some art. Both of you, I don't even know what to say. You're so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. And so great to meet you, Rufus.
Yes, so great to meet you too. Finally, yes.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Adios.
Well, there they are, and they're gone, and that was that. What a giant moment for me, because I was thinking about while I was talking to them, only this messy little show that was started in a basement in New Jersey would put people like Rufus, Anais, who had never met each other. And when I had told Anais' people that Rufus was coming on, they asked, please, can you please bring them together? So we put Rufus and Anais together. They're here together, and they met for the first time right here on the Roundtable with their projects coming out. Thank you, Rufus Wainwright. Thank you, Anais Mitchell. Thank you, Devin Velez. Thank you so much to Jay Santino. It's a place where art is valued. We are a place where that likes artists, different kinds of artists. As you can see, we could go from hip hop to pop to folk to opera to Broadway to jazz. And next week we're doing a little drag and a little Olympics. The show's a mess. We have Greg Louganis, and the winner of RuPaul's Queen of the Universe, Drag Queen, is going to be here live. Plus, Adrian and Kyle, who haven't been here in a while, are going to come back and talk to you about summer movies. So we're going to do Pride all month long. After next week, we have all other shows coming up as well. So it's a big month here, and then I'll be with you through July and through August and through forever. As long as you keep watching, I'm not going anywhere. Thank you so much, Abby, for staying up. Thank you, Marie. You're too generous and sweet. That was not necessary, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Janelle, my friend. I will hopefully see you all. If you want to support the show, you can always Venmo me at Bannon. I will see you all hopefully tomorrow in New Jersey, on Saturday in Delaware, and Sunday in New Jersey. I'll be in Asbury Park. For Prides, I'll be everywhere and anywhere. So join me this weekend, or come see me next week, Wednesday in Englewood with Margaret Josephs, and then Thursday we'll be back here with Olympic gold medalist Greg Louganis and Drag Queen. I didn't know how to end the show today, so I was really thinking about how I wanted to end the show. Thank you. This month is full of love, and love is love, and we're going to just show a lot of love and support to everyone. Thank you. How am I going to end a show like tonight? And I was thinking about what I wanted to do to end it. And then I was randomly researching the guests tonight, and Rufus put out a single of Over the Rainbow that Judy, of course, is Judy's song. And he put out a video that just came out as a tribute to Pride. So how can I end Pride night with one of the most iconic songs that represents Pride? So happy Pride, everybody. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whoever you love, you're perfect and you're beautiful, literally just the way you are. So let's remember that and spread lots of love to everybody across the rainbow. Happy Roundtable, happy Wednesday, happy June 1st, and I'll see you all here next week. Good night.
Over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's when you're be